Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Last Night On here at the Stream.tv. I'm your host, Jocelyn Polite.
And I'm A.J. Lawrence.
Did you watch TV last night? Because we did, and let me tell you, we've got some great shows that we want to talk about this morning, and we're going to start off with The Blacklist. Because what else is there to start off with?
I know, Reddington, always on point, and Tom.
Okay, so we had the longevity experiment last night. And this experiment was crazy. Like it was kind of Hannibal Lecter. They were kind of like taking people's skulls off.
Yeah, and he's playing with his brain to see if he can get a response from the frontal lobe, like damage, because it turns out with the gentleman's fiance and wanting to bring her back. So it was, I don't know, I thought it was really interesting and it was fun and it had this kind of dynamic to it, but I almost felt like the true story was kind of that love story there, and then we segue into...
Right, exactly. Well, you know what? The amazing part was Tom, of course, because I love Tom, but the amazing part was Tom, and it took me by surprise when they got him in the car and took him. And it was the German gang, I guess you can say, that it was almost like a German mafia that got him, and he got himself out again. Tom always escapes.
Yes, he does, and he always escapes, and it's always like Liz's love that brings him back. Like when that German guy shows the picture of the sonogram photo, and they're like, who is Elizabeth Keene? We're gonna go get her, all this stuff. And Tom, and it's funny because I feel like I've seen enough movies and enough shows that when they bring something in front of you that you know is your kryptonite, it's like, can you not give a tell? Like,
I know.
So, it's like, really? All of a sudden, Tom's all emotional. His eyes are up. He's peaked. It's like, you just gave them all ammunition. You could have been like, oh, okay, she does my taxes.
Right, exactly. But he didn't. He gave the full story. He's like, that's my ex-wife, or my wife, rather. I was married to her, and she's in the FBI. But the good part was that they were like, oh, we don't want to deal with the FBI. Exactly. So it all worked out again, and I loved how it ended with that phone call between the two of them, and the love is still there. The love is still there.
Yes, yes. And no, when he came into her apartment, or her hotel, because she won't get an apartment, even though Red bought her a very nice place, which I'm just like, this is nice. Anyways, so it's kind of like, and he's still in love with her, and he loves her.
Absolutely.
And it's sweet. It's very sweet.
Well, she's got two dangerous men that love her, so we'll have to see what happens next week, because I have a feeling that she's going to have to make a choice. Yep. We'll see. All right, well, American Crime. American Crime was amazing last night. Barb was off the hinges. Barb was mad and Barb was upset. She was in court glaring.
Barb was doing her thing. She is such a good actress. She is so good. And I loved it too when she was getting her hair done and the woman starts massaging her scalp, because we've all been there, all the ladies there, and they just hit you from behind. You
Right. What you doing?
Yeah, you just like,
wait a minute.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, and Barb, she was just like, I went and got my hair done, and then I ended up like this, and I don't understand what this is. But yeah, she was mad. She was on one. She really held it together in court very well, even though she had the nasty looks. But at the end, she just couldn't hold it anymore. She had to just completely go off on Carter's sister. Like, no. Yes. She's not having it. But there's a lot going on there, because we also found out that Gwen's dad really kind of came to terms with the fact that she's been slutting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like I think, well, last episode it was more about parents and understanding that their children aren't the innocent little kids that they used to be, that they are real individuals and that they live their own lives. And so I guess this was kind of an acceptance thing.
Right,
and
but
a growth.
Barb's not accepting that Matt may have been doing some drugs. I mean, they found drugs in his house and everything, so it's kind of like, all right, Barb, I know he was your baby and everything, but, that doesn't mean that he didn't have some fun or
And the sad thing is, like, she has the other son who's in the military, and you could kind of see the sadness on his face when she's talking about Matt and everything, and you can see him, he's nice and decorated, and he definitely contributes to society, and it's almost kind of like, can he get some recognition? Even in, Matt's passing, he's still kind of almost like second fiddle.
Yeah, and Gwen woke up, so we did get that.
Yes, we did.
Gwen woke up, and Aubrey is a mess.
Aubrey's a hot mess.
Aubrey showed up to court looking like a mess, and so, I don't know, I think Aubrey needs to leave Modesto.
Yeah, and it's funny. I love that it's in Modesto. God bless Modesto. I'm from Northern California, but, ooh.
Modesto got a show, and it got a good one, too.
Yes, it did.
All right, Scandal. Wow, we did an after show on Scandal last night, and we had a lot to talk about because there was a big gay Republican wedding in the White House.
In the White House.
Cyrus got married.
Yes, he did. And the thing is, we got to see what Cyrus's evolution of his romance and his love and everything he's been through to be the man that he is. And it was good to get deeper into the character and to figure out more about him and how he ticks and everything. But, it was just, it's definitely Cyrus.
Yeah, and what did we say last night? It was like bad wig scandal. I mean, we had Melly looking like Dynasty. We had Cyrus, they just threw a wig on top of his head and like, you know, took it back to the 80s.
Thank you. And it's like, but you did nothing to touch up the fact that this man has like 40, 50 years of wear and tear on his face, and you just throw a beat. I know. And everyone around him is uber young, and he's just.
I know, poor Cyrus.
I needed a minute. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, Olivia was the one that kind of like helped with the scandal with everything, and everyone was so excited last night because they got an Olivia and Vermont flashback actually about the ring. Everyone loves Olitz. They're all Olitz fans. They love, you know, Fitz and Olivia. I'm kind of over it, but at the same time, it was cool to kind of see where the ring situation came from, and she didn't have it on, and it was interesting that he was looking for it on the ring finger. The nerve.
Yes, and we were all upset when we saw it was on, or there was any indication it was on the ring finger, thinking that he was essentially tying her down by her marketing herself as almost being married to this man who's married to another woman.
Exactly. Wanting your ring finger, not. No. Claiming.
Waste
Shouldn't.
of time.
Oh my gosh. And so Sally Langston came back. That made me happy, and I can't wait to see more of her because she is such a hot mess, and she is so incredibly just self-righteous and judgmental, but it's fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
It is a lot of fun
She's just
to
like a
watch.
train wreck, but also she. Oh, I love me some Sally. They have some great characters, and it does made me miss James. Like I felt he was of a very similar caliber in terms of he brought it all. He brought this dynamic, and he could hold his own and just almost carry the show at times. And Sally does the same thing, where you just cannot take your eyes off the screen.
Exactly. And speaking of high class, we went into some high class ratchetness last night. Okay, did I just make that word up? High class ratchetness with the Real Housewives of Melbourne. I'm sorry, the Real Housewives of Melbourne. Okay, so these ladies have drama going on because Gamble apparently has a past, allegedly, and Janet and Chica brought it up, and they're upset because Janet got blamed for being the one who, you know, said more about it. Like she used to be a stripper or a prostitute or a call girl or something like that. And it's, of course, this is just drama out of control.
Exactly, because if you are going on a reality television show and you know you have a past, don't you know it's going to come up in some form or fashion? It's just kind of like, really, ladies, let's just tone it down a bit. But they got some serious drama, and they are going to let things fly, although I don't know if it'll be New Jersey fly crazy.
Oh, no, I don't know if it won't be like New Jersey. And it's interesting because I was watching it and I'm like, it's interesting to see the housewives in a different like country and just how things are. Because we get all the ones that are here, Atlanta and New York and everything. This one is, you know, in Australia. And so they got the same drama no matter where you go. And it's cool. But here was the funny part. Was it golf or baseball? They were out on the golf course. First of all, let's just talk about how they were out on the golf course like, they all went and bought outfits to go golfing in. One of them can't even deal with the fact that she's like, Gina was like, golf, she has to wear heels. So she's on her tippy toes the entire time that they're playing golf. And Jackie is swinging the golf club like a baseball bat. It was hilarious.
See, I'm so surprised somebody didn't get hurt. Just surprised somebody didn't get hurt.
Well, she threw the golf stick.
Jeez. They are crazy. They are crazy.
They are. Well, it was a lot of fun, and I like the show. I think I'm going to kind of stick with it. I wasn't sure about the Real Housewives of Melbourne, but I think I'm going to stick with it.
See, and I actually like the crazy in a different accent because when we had Beverly Hills, you know, we had a little bit of British accent going on in there, flavor it up, and then Jersey, you had some Jersey, and then New York, you had New York. So I think I could like this. I like it. Melbourne works for me.
Melbourne works for me too, and AJ's giving you accents. So catch us next week for sure, right here on Last Night On. Thank you for joining us on the Screen.tv, and we will see you next Friday. Have a great weekend.